So we've come a tremendous distance in the last 25 years or so in understanding the role that the immune system plays in our own health in cancer, and how effective a surveillance mechanism it is, and how it can be really impactful in actually killing cancer cells. And this is all going to accelerate both our learning, but also the speed at which we can apply and develop new treatments, new diagnostics, and new therapies for patients with cancer. So the development of the COVID vaccine, which was an mRNA vaccine, really accelerated the potential to use mRNA as a therapeutic in other diseases. And one of the diseases that has really looked at the use of mRNA as a treatment and is now being tested in clinical trials is in cancers. So mRNA is like a recipe. It's a recipe of how to create a protein. The great thing about mRNA is we can use that recipe and manipulate it and ask cells to produce a large volume of a particular protein. And the reason that's important in cancer is we can manipulate that system and introduce mRNA in cells that codes for neoantigens, or particular proteins that are expressed on tumor cells. And by producing a large volume of those tumor antigens in the person's own body, you can use those as an activation or a ramp-up signal for the immune system. So for patients, this opens up new potential avenues of treatment. And there are lots and lots of clinical trials going on right now, including a new clinical trial that Providence Therapeutics just opened in Australia in order to test the treatment of children with a really rare brain tumor who don't have a lot of other successful treatment options, and using mRNA vaccines as a way to see better success rates for those children.
An mRNA cancer vaccine is a therapeutic vaccine. What this means is we treat the patient after they have the cancer with the vaccine. It's not a preventive vaccine like the polio vaccines that we all take. The advantage of creating a vaccine that can activate the immune system, first, those lymphocytes can reach the target tissue, can eliminate the cells, and can create a memory response. So if the tumor was to escape, the lymphocytes are there ready to attack.
There's two ways that mRNA vaccines can be used to treat cancer. One is to do it in a very personalized way and take that person's tumor, figure out what antigens or tags are on it that are specific to the tumor cell so that we can produce a lot of them and activate the immune system in that particular patient. The other way cancer vaccines can be used is to find antigens that are common to typical cancers and use those in a larger population to help cancer patients fight cancer.
For midline glioma, there is a mutation that is very common, so we can target that particular mutation. But we also know that each patient has its own individual mutations. So the vaccines that we're creating for these patients will contain these common mutations, another family of common antigens, and the personalized, what we call neoantigens, the mutation specifics for the patient. We want to analyze the immune response of these patients and the clinical response, and at the end be able to identify what is the response that is really protective against the cancer. Hypothetically, it could be the combination of all, but it could also be that we can identify a niche in these common antigens that we can then talk about precision medicine for the disease specifically. Right now, we are testing it in a personalized setting for a genotype of a tumor. But in the future, it's going to be possible to see if that tumor changes, we can create another vaccine to actually attack the second tumor that eventually escaped the original tumor that created that disease. So what is very exciting is as this technology evolves, we can really be able to not only do it personalized, but to be able to treat at different stages of disease.
mRNA vaccines are really exciting because they add an extra tool to our toolkit when we're talking about how to fight cancer, and particularly how to activate the immune system, the body's own natural way of seeing and attacking cancer cells. And so as we learn how this works and how to harness it, I'm really hopeful that in the next 10, 15, 20 years, we're going to see all kinds of new therapeutics that really help us boost our own natural way of attacking cancer cells through our immune system, and that this will have better outcomes, less toxic therapies for patients, and we'll see more people surviving and thriving from cancer.